Okay, sure. Okay, Vedant, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, very good.
Yeah, good evening, Vedant. Virtuate. Yeah,
Sir, very good evening, sir.
yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome.
very good evening, sir.
I hope you folks tried little bit of problems from this.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
okay, very good.
With the
So,
help of my friend, I solved this problem, sir. I have solved
okay, very good.
the
How
first
many problems
25
did you
problems.
solve? How many did
The
you
first
have done?
25.
Hmm?
The first 25 problems, sir.
First 25 you solved. Okay, very good.
Yes, sir. Some of the problems I understand clearly, sir. But
Okay.
some of the problems I can't understand, sir.
Okay.
So my friend helped me, sir.
Okay, very good. So, can all of you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I thought was, since you said some of them you have some difficulty, we can, go through one by one first, and then, maybe after few problems, as depending upon your difficulties, we can jump to those ones. Okay. I think the first one we already did it, right? Anybody having doubt in that?
No,
Last
sir.
class we did it. So, can you
For
start
the
with the
benefit
second
of new
one?
students, Guru, probably you can
Yes, sir.
cover whatever you have covered last class.
Okay.
Guru, for the benefit of new students,
Okay.
you can cover whatever you have, one or two problem which you have covered last class. You can cover now also because some
Okay,
of you are
sure.
they have just come for the first time.
Okay, sure. So I think we talked about some basics here. Okay, if you folks don't know where it is, again, for the benefit of people who joined today, you can note down this website. I am sending it in the groups again and again. So if you go here, if you go to Neet chapter wise PDF test, you can choose which chapter, whichever chapter you want. So right now approximately we have around 14 plus 14 chapters here, right, organized in 14 chapters. So right now we are doing this one. So initially we are going to do some 11th portions because most of you have completed 11th now, so it will be good if you did some of the chapters over here, and then whenever we are ready to go to the 12th, I think sir told us around 4 or 5 months we are going to do 11th, and then we can jump to 12th. Okay. Again, the theory part you're going to study in your school, and here we can mostly focus on the numerical problem solving. But does that mean we will not discuss theory here? Well, depending upon your doubts, if you communicate well, we can find some time and we can do some. In addition to numerical solving, we can do some theory discussions also. But only if you tell me, sir, I have difficulty in this particular topic, can we do some theory means, then we can do. If you don't communicate, I will assume that, okay, you have some basics in the theory. I'm not expecting you to have 100% theory knowledge, but even if you have some 50 to 70%, that is sufficient to do the numericals. And as you do the numericals, your theory knowledge will also improve, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you So we are going to follow this, right? So right now we are doing this one, motion in straight line, and maybe we can come to units and measurements in the after completing this. Again, if you do your homework and come, then we can go a little bit faster. Otherwise, it will be very slow. So my suggestion is, people who are very active, I will go along with them. So if you are not doing well, then I will just try to go along with them. So others also should run along with them, and catch up with them. So average speed average, we already talked about the basics here. So total distance divided by total time. You should not simply add the speeds and divide by 2. That is not correct. Okay. For example, 40 plus 60 divided by 200 by 250. That is not correct. Right. So this may not be the correct answer. A car covers first half of the distance between two places. So first half, let's say this is d by 2. The second half, this is distance by 2. First half, it says it's going at 40 km/h speed. And then the second half, it's going at a higher speed. Average speed. So that means even though they are not given the distance, you can still do this problem. So total distance, it will be this plus this, which means it will be d. The total distance is d, we are taken as d. And total time taken as distance divided by velocity will give me the time. So that means it will be time taken for the first part and time taken for the second part. If you want, I can write one more step like this. Okay, total distance is this distance plus this distance, which will become d. And the time taken here will be distance divided by velocity. So that means d by 2 divided by 40. So should I convert it to meter per second? Well, the answer is, sometimes we may have to convert it to meter per second. Here, I think you can keep it as kilometer per hour because your answer is also in kilometer per hour. So nothing wrong if you keep it in kilometer per hour, but some problems you have to convert it to SI units. For these kind of problems, you can still keep it as kilometer per hour. So that means this will become d, this will become d by 2 divided by 40 plus d by 2 divided by 60. I can take the d commonly out, the d will cancel out. So in the top I will have only 1 because the d will cancel out. And this will become 1 by 2 and then the 2 will come over here. So 1 by 80 plus 1 by 120. If you are not convinced with that, then I can show one more step. So the d will be coming out here. And then there will be a d over here. So the d and d will cancel out. Okay, that's why I said, even if distance is not given, you can still do the problem. So you see, only the first part is physics. After that, it's all mathematics, right? Simplification. So if you are good at mathematics, you can do this. So LCM here, let's take it as 240, right? So it will be 3 times, plus this will be 2 times. So it will be 5, so 240 divided by 5, so 5, so 4 times 48. So it's coming around 48 km/h, which means this one. So you see, if you have done it as 40 plus 60, 100, 100 by 2 is 50 means this is wrong. So again and again I'm telling you, you have to follow this procedure. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Again, I saw the first 7 or 8 problems are based on this. Maybe we can do 2 or 3 and then we can jump to later kind of problems. So Vedant, were you able to do the second one?
Sir?
Second one, did you do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the answer you got?
Sir, I got 60, sir.
Okay, that is the correct answer. Did you check it?
Yes, sir. I checked, sir.
Yeah, it's in the end of
59.9.
the. Okay, maybe we can do that. Your car moves a distance of 200 meters. So that means from here to here, 200 meters. It covers the first half of the distance at 40 km per hour.
Yes, sir.
The second half with the speed of v. So that means they are not given you the value. So v kilometer per hour. So it's going to be exactly same like what we did the previous one.
Yes, sir.
The average speed is 48 km per hour. So that means instead of asking this thing, they are given this one. So that means I can copy paste this one. So total distance will be 200 meters divided by time taken. Time taken is T1 plus T2, right? So T1 will be 100 divided by 40 plus 100 divided by 40. Sorry, V. I do not know this velocity, so that means it is V. If any of you are having a doubt, velocity is equal to distance by time, so that means time is equal to distance by velocity. So that means I'm adding this time and this time. Speed average is given as 48, I think. I think it's just the reverse of what we have done here, right? So you do this math, I am sure you will get this. So 100 I can take it out, so 2 zeros will cancel. So it's exactly the reverse of the problem which we have done there. 1 by 40 plus 1 by V. Because 100 comes out and cancels with 248 here. So how to proceed after this? This will come over here, 48. So I can bring 1 by 40 plus 1 by V is equal to 2 by 48. 24, so 1 by 24. So all these things are mathematics, right? So in future, I may be slowly, as I pick up speed, probably, I may not be doing all these steps. You will have to do it. So I want V, so bring it on this side. So 1 by 24 minus 1 by 40. So maybe I can simply do 40 minus 24. So how much is that? 16. 24 into 40. So that is my 1 by V. So I cancel by 4. Any quick answers? So 4 here, 10 here, 4 here, 6. So that means V is equal to 16. So that means this will be your answer. Any doubts, anybody? Only up to this it is physics. After that it is all just mathematical simplification. Okay. So I can help you with physics, mathematical simplification only by, only if you practice it, it will improve. Okay. Third one, I think it's very similar to that. Maybe we can come back to third one if you have difficulty. Maybe we can do some other type of problems, easier ones. car at rest accelerates uniformly to a speed of 144 km per hour in 20 seconds. It covers a distance of, so that means S is equal to ut plus half a t square. They are asking you to cover the distance of, so that means they are asking you to find the displacement or distance covered. Starts from rest, that means u becomes 0. Okay. Acceleration they are given, it reaches a speed of 144 km per hour in 20 seconds. So that means from 0 to 144 in 20 seconds. So you should remember a trick, which is 36 km per hour is equal to how many meter per second? It is 10 meter per second. Okay, you can do the calculation. If you want, I can show you that. So 36 kilo means 1000. That means it will be 1000 meters divided by, in 1 hour I have 3600 seconds. So that means if I cancel these things, I will get 10 meter per second. Why should I remember this? Because if they give you 72 km per hour, I should know it is 20 meter per second. If they give you 18 km per hour, I should know it is 5 meter per second. Okay. Anything else, you know? So this is, I think, 36 into 4 times. So these are all some easy tricks. So 4 times, so I think it will be 40 meter per second. So that means what they are saying is from 0 meter per second, it is going to 40 meter per second in 20 seconds. That means you can find the acceleration and then you can find the time is given 20. So that means I can easily do this problem. So that means how to find the acceleration. So A is equal to final velocity divided minus initial velocity. So V2 minus V1 divided by T2 minus T1. T2 minus T1 is nothing but the interval, which means 20 seconds here. So 40 minus 0 divided by 20 seconds, which means it is 2 meter per second square. That means half into A is 2, T is 20 square. That means it will be 400 meters. So why should I convert it to meter per second? Because your answer is in meters. And whenever we are dealing with acceleration, it's better to convert it to meter per second. Okay. Only then you can get the answer correctly as meter per second square. Everyone got this? Anybody got this correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Instead of using this formula, I used into 5 by 18 for converting the meter per second.
5 by 18. Okay, yeah, doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, yeah, because if you cancel out this, it's the same thing. If I cancel out these two zeros, this will be 5 and this will be 18. Is that right? So it's the same thing. But generally I like, because I don't have to remember this number. I know kilo means 1000. In 1 hour it is 3,600 seconds. Okay, yeah, whichever you are comfortable, you can remember it. Okay. Okay. Many times I have seen students are okay with the number-based problems, but you may have some difficulty with the letters based problems. This we call it as numerical solving. This is more like a algebraic solving, right? Because in algebra we take it as x, y, s, v. So it's the same thing, what you are doing in numerical. Only thing, instead of numbers, it will be letters. So don't get scared by the letters, right? Don't get scared by these kind of, algebra based problems, okay? Or sometimes it's referred as symbolic calculation. Instead of numerical calculation, it is symbolic calculation. So as you practice it, I'm sure it will become easy. So whatever you do in the numerical, it will be the same thing. A car moves from X to Y with a uniform speed Vu and returns to Y with a uniform speed Vd. The average speed for this round trip. Yeah, I think we have done this many times. So that means the speed average. What's the formula? Speed average, anybody?
So average speed, total distance by time, total time.
Total distance by total time. So total distances, if I take this as d, you are going to d and then coming back another d. So that means it will be 2d. And total time taken will be, this is distance by velocity. So distance divided by Vu plus distance divided by, when you are coming back in the return trip, distance divided by velocity, Vd. Simplify this, you will get the answer. So as I always say, the d comes out and then the d will get cancelled out. So what is left is 2 divided by 1 by Vu plus 1 by Vd. So Vd plus Vu will be here, and Vd multiplied by Vu will be in the top. So I think this will be the answer. Did you get this correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Anybody else got this? Please try it and come. Okay, that's the reason why I tell it in advance. Maybe this is just your second class. Okay, I'm not expecting 100% perfection now itself. But people, if you are sincere, you will do well in your Neet or JEE or whatever exams you are writing. Okay, you have some cute exam, KVPY, you have Amrita. There are so many things. Okay, and when you go to college, it will be very, very useful. Numerical solving. Suppose if you are going into engineering, definitely numerical solving is what you will be doing 100% in your engineering college. So don't take it lightly. Okay, whatever you are doing now, maths and physics is a must. It's a most important subject you have to study properly. No, sir, I am a biology student means, yeah, nothing wrong in it. So you can study biology and chemistry is your most important subjects. But physics will definitely help you for your Neet. Okay, so you should understand why you are studying and then study with, sincerity. I think this is very similar to what we did now. Okay, instead of Vu and Vd, they are given V1 and V2. So I'm going to leave it to you. So you can try it yourself. Problem 7, it's a very interesting and important type of problem. We can do that very often. They'll ask you this escalator type of problem. Preeti reached the metro station and found that the escalator was not working. I'm sure all of you have seen some escalator in your mall or in the stations, right? So This distance is D. Escalator was not working. She walked up the stationary escalator in time t1. So that means she starts walking and then it takes t1 time. On other days, if she remains stationary on the moving escalator, then the escalator takes her up in time t2. That means when the escalator itself is moving, then it takes t2 time. The time taken by her to walk up on the moving escalator will be. So suppose, sometimes we like to walk on the moving escalator, right? It feels pretty good and then we can go a little bit faster. So I'm sure all of you have experienced this, right? In the mall or in the railway stations. So that means this stationary, when the escalator is stationary, you will have a velocity. And when you are not moving and when the escalator is moving, it will have a velocity. So that means this is velocity of a person. You can say velocity of Preeti or velocity of a person. And then you have velocity of the escalator. That means if you are also walking on it, when the steps are moving, when the escalator is moving, then the total, V total, will be velocity of the person plus velocity of the escalator. Okay, so that means the velocities can be added like this. So the velocity total, we do not know the time taken here, so that means distance by time taken is t. Here we said distance divided by t1 because in the first case, when the escalator is not working, it is only the velocity of the person. So d by t1. Plus velocity of the escalator means escalator is also moving a distance of d and it takes t2 time. Again, this is also algebraic problem. So all you have to do is get rid of d and find out t. Means 1 by t is equal to t1 plus t2 divided by t1 into t2. So that means t is going to be reciprocal of this. So that means this is the correct answer. Anybody not following this?
Got this answer, sir.
Okay, very good. There is something called relative velocity. Okay, we'll come to that later. But this is kind of related to that. Okay, so we'll call this as velocity of the man with respect to the escalator. So that means it will be E minus E. I think it will be like, velocity of the person with respect to the steps is given here. Velocity of the person with respect to the escalator will be velocity of the person minus velocity of the escalator. So that means when this comes on this side, I'll get VPE plus VE is equal to VP. Okay, so this is with respect to the ground. Whenever you don't get the second letter right, it means it is ground. But this was with respect to the steps, with respect to the escalator, because you are moving on the steps here. So this was actually with respect to the escalator. Again, I don't want to confuse you right now, but when you bring this on this side, it will become EPE plus VE. Okay, so if this is confusing, don't worry about it. Okay, as we do some other problem, probably it will make more sense. So I don't want to confuse you too many things in one single problem. Okay, a person traveling in a straight line moves with the constant velocity v1 for a certain distance x and with the constant velocity v2 for the next equal distance average velocity. I think we have done this many times, so I'm going to leave it to you. So definitely, finish these things. If you already not finished it, you have to do it, right? If you say later on I will do it means you will never do it. Okay, so every now and then, whenever we are having this class, at least before the class or after the class, you have to keep doing. Okay. And this is like a very basic class. I would say it's not very hi-fi or very advanced kind of classes, right? So mostly I'm taking it for the Neet students. If I have more JE students, then we can do some JE problems also, right? But mostly I see Neet students. If you are having JE students, let me know. We can do some JE past year questions also. These are all mostly taken from Neet past year questions. Okay, now we are slowly entering into the non-uniform motion, which means the acceleration might be constant or acceleration might be changing also. Sometimes the acceleration can be changing. Any doubts so far? I'm going very, very slowly, right? If you have doubts, it is your responsibility to stop me. If you have any doubts, please let me know. A car is moving along a straight road with a uniform acceleration. So uniform acceleration means A is constant, which means I can use the equations of motion, right? V is equal to U plus AT, S is equal to UT plus half AT square. All those things I can use. If acceleration is not constant, then I should not use equations of motion. If you don't know this, please take it down properly. If acceleration is not a constant, which means it will keep on changing with respect to time means, then I should not use any of the three equations of motion. Okay. So please take it down. Very often we will make a mistake there. Okay, car is moving along a straight road with the uniform acceleration. It passes through points P and Q and separated by a distance, the velocity 30 and 40. So here they are saying it is 30 km per hour. And here they are saying it is 40 km per hour. And don't forget, I forgot to tell you, drawing is the language of engineers and scientists. So if you want to do a problem properly, you have to represent it in a drawing. And then you have to write some mathematical equations. Only then you can actually start a problem. Otherwise, you cannot start a problem. Okay. So the first step is to make a drawing. Whatever you have understood from the paragraph, you have to convert it into a drawing. So no matter whether it is a simple problem or a difficult problem, I would recommend you to follow this practice. The velocity of the car midway between P and Q. So that means somewhere here, it's called this as midway M, middle point. So they're asking you to find the velocity here. He said acceleration is constant, same. Any ideas how we can do this? How can I do this?
Sir, by using the formula V square is equal to U square plus 2AS.
Okay.
V square minus U square is equal to 2AS, sir. The U square come to the left side, sir. So we have V square and U square. So by minusing, sir, we get 54.02.
Okay, so let's see what it's saying. So are you connecting this point and this point to write the equation?
Yes, sir. That is V square. This is U square.
V square is equal to U square plus 2AS.
2AS.
But
before that, I converted to the meter per second, sir.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that is correct. You can, but you can keep it like this also. Let's try it, keeping it like this because it
Oh,
might be coming in decimal points, right? So,
yes, sir.
and don't forget, if I am starting from here, this is my initial velocity u and this is my final velocity v. So that means v squared is equal to 30 square plus acceleration I do not know. Displacement is what they are asking. But here the displacement is d by 2, right? This distance. So that means this is displacement is d by 2. Similarly, if I write it between, so this equation is for between this point and this point. Suppose if I write it between this point and this point, it will be final velocity is this one. So that means it will be 40 square and this is your initial velocity, right? So that means it will be v square plus 2, acceleration is same and then the distance covered is also same. So that means I can write v square here and then see whether it will help me. But I don't know the d by 2, right? D by 2, will I be able to get rid of it? I want a alone. The velocity of the car, so I want v only, so that means I don't want a and d. That means 40 square is equal to v square plus 2a d by 2. So I thought they're asking you to find the distance, but I realized that they're asking you to find the velocity. That means v is what is required. So that means I can take this as equation 1, take this as equation 2, and then I can do your mathematical simplification. Like I can take this as minus, minus, minus. Why would I do that? Because I want to get rid of this one. And then what will happen on this side? V squared minus 40 squared is equal to 30 square minus v square. Minus v squared comes on this side, so it will become v squared plus v squared, so it will become 2v square. This will become plus. Remember, very often 3, 4, 5. It's called Pythagoras triplets. So 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared, right? 9 plus 16 is 25. So the same thing can be applied over here. 30 squared plus 40 squared, it will be 50 squared. Okay, 900 plus 1600, it will be 2500. So which means it will be square root will be 50 square. That means v will be equal to square root of this. So that means it will be 50 divided by 2 comes on this side with a square root. 50 by root 2 is what I want. 50 by root 2, I don't see anything, which means I can multiply and divide by root 2. The value will not change. That means this will become 2 50 by 2 into root 2. So 25 by root 2. So 25 by root 2 is the correct answer. So now, Vedant, you tell me, doing the meter per second, was it easier or difficult?
Sir, it is difficult, sir. My friend only taught me how to do this problem.
Okay, nothing wrong, but I'm just telling you, sometimes it's better, it's easier to keep it as kilometer per hour.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, sir. Because the answer also in kilometer per hour.
Yeah. If you are dealing with acceleration, then definitely you have to convert it to meter per second, because we don't want to deal with kilometer per hour square, right? Which will become a little more complicated. But in this case, the trick I found was, whenever they give you 30, 40, 3, 4, that means they are giving you some easier numbers. So they wanted to make it easier for you. But unfortunately, what do? We complicate it. So that means if we know the tricks, we will not complicate it and we will do it in an easier way.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
This
so
method
the
is very
mathematics
easy.
is hmm?
Your method is easy, sir. Your method.
Yeah, so the mathematics is easier if you keep it as kilometer per hour. I think
Yeah.
this part you must have done it the same way, right? Did you get rid of A and D?
No, I done it differently, sir.
Totally different. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nothing wrong. But luckily, since we want V, I directly got rid of this one. So it was very quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Any doubts? I think it's very easy. If you find it difficult, then you have to practice all these problems again. After the class, you have to practice it, clarify your doubts, and practice it. So I'm here to help you, but only if you open your mouth and ask doubts, then I can help you. If you don't do that, then obviously, I have no idea what you are doing. You can ask your doubts in English, or if you have difficulty, you can ask in Tamil. Okay, nobody is going to complain. So whatever language you can ask. You can have some translators. If you ask in Marathi or Malayalam, then I may not follow it. But maybe most of us will be able to follow it. No issues, right? So don't worry about the languages. Okay. At the end of the day, you should know the physics. You should know how to solve the problem. That's all we want. If the following curve does not represent motion in one dimension. So the trick here is, always remember, whenever we are talking about one dimension, time is here. So the curve will always keep moving forward. Okay, so or something like this, or something like this. If you had a curve which is something like this, what is the problem? Anybody? What is the issue in this? It can be a displacement or it can be a velocity graph. Can anyone tell me what is the problem here? What is the issue in this graph? I'll give you a clue. If I draw a red line like this, let's say this is 10 seconds. At 10 second, was it at point A, was it at point B, or was it at point C? Which one is true? At a given time, right? You will be in school, or you will be in your home, or you will be in some tuition class or something, or you will be in the theater or something watching a movie. At a given time, you can be only in one place, right? You cannot be in two different places. That means whenever they say one dimension, right, you should have a curve which is moving forward. You see this straight line, you see this, mountain kind of thing, or this sine wave. It's all at a given time, you will have only one point. Okay, if you want, I can explain one more time. If you take a sine curve, for example, you take a time t, you will have only one point. You take a time here, it will be having only one point. If you had a curve like this, you take a time here and you will have only one point. You take a time here, you will have only one point. You take a time here, there is only one point. But if you had more than one point, then it doesn't make sense. It's like saying, okay, at 5 o'clock, you were in school and at the same time you were in your home, which doesn't make any sense, right? So that means whenever you see a graph like that, that is a problem. Okay. So can anyone tell me which one doesn't make sense?
Option B.
Option B. Why? Because if I put a time here, it can show me 2 points,
2
right?
points. Yes,
So
sir.
it cannot be 2 meter per second and it cannot be 10 meter per second. It has to be only one particular value, right? All the other graphs are looking good. So that means this are looking good. Only this is having a problem. So that means this is the answer you should choose. Does not represent one dimension. Anybody having any difficulty, please take it down. Very important type. Very often they'll ask you some graphical questions. Okay. Okay, this is also a very important type of problem. Okay, very often asked. Nobody else is answering other than Vedant. Okay, I expect people to participate well. If you participate well, you will also feel enthusiastic, right? You'll see more motivation to work out the problem after the class also. If you keep quiet, very quickly, within few classes, 1 or 2 classes, you will lose the interest, and then you will not be doing the required work. So only if you keep on answering, I will also feel motivated. Okay. So I am happy that Vedant is answering. I don't see Karthikeyan, Kavya, Sendamil Chelvan. What happened to Sendamil Chelvan? Pesa matingirunga. Nethalam pesittirunga. Sendamil Chelvan.
Sir?
Are you following everything? No doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. What about Kavya? No doubts? Okay, பேசுங்க. Doubts இருந்தா கேளுங்க. Yalini, Karthikeyan, Nanda, Krishnan.
Sir?
Yeah, any doubts for you? Are you doing fine?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. Doubts கேட்டோன்னு சில பேர் ஓடிடுறாங்க. Sujit, not seeing any questions. Sujit, Sachin, Patil. Any doubts for you, Sachin? No answers. Sujit. Mumtaj, are you following? Are you able to follow? I know you just completed 10th standard, so you may find it slightly difficult, but don't worry about it, okay? Okay. Body starts from rest. What is the ratio of distance traveled by the body during the 4th second and 3rd seconds? 4th and 3rd. So that means they are not asking you, so S is equal to ut plus half at square. But carefully listen, they are asking you to find the distance traveled during the 4th second and 3rd second. So that means 4th second alone you have to calculate separately, which means we discussed this in the last class. It will be what is the distance traveled in 4 seconds minus what is the distance traveled in 3 seconds, right? It's like this. If this is the distance traveled in 3 seconds and this is the distance traveled in 4 seconds, then what is the distance traveled in 4th second alone, which will be only this one. And how do I find it? Displacement in 4 seconds minus displacement in 3 seconds. Okay, very simple, nothing very difficult there. You have a formula, we derived it. Okay. If you don't know, you can go to the handbook and you can refer to the theories, right? Compared to your textbook, probably you can access this very quickly. Okay. If you go to the website, it is there, handbooks are there, so you can access the PDF files. So last class we discussed a little bit from this. Okay, we talked about this one. Again, either you can remember this formula. Sir, I don't remember this formula means you can remember this basic, which is S4 minus S3, Sn minus Sn minus 1. That is the distance covered in nth second. We even talked about the law of odd numbers, right? This is a very important concept. So I hope all of you know that there is a handbook here, PDF format. You can refer to it. Okay. So you can refer to all the concepts very quickly. So that means in the fourth second means only this one, which means it will be ut. But they said initially at rest, which means this u becomes 0. That means it will be half a t square minus half a t square. So this is for the 4 seconds.
7 by 5, sir.
7 by 5. Okay, that sounds correct to me. This will be 3. So half a is constant. T squared is 4 squared minus 3 squared. You have to do the same thing for the third second, right? So S3 is equal to, this is, I made a mistake here, it is S fourth second. So S fourth second is displacement in 4 seconds minus displacement in 3 seconds. So this is third second, which means S3 minus S2, which means if I follow the same logic, u is 0, half a, 3 squared minus 2 squared, which means here I would have got half a, 16 minus 9, which is 7, half a, 9 minus 4, it will be 5. So actually it is 7 by 5. Yeah, you are right. So 7 by 5. So this divided by this. So it gets 7 by 5. Anybody not following that? Very easy one, nothing very difficult. If you have doubts, please raise your doubts. What happened to the ut term? U is 0, so that's why I didn't care about the ut. Okay, this is also very easy one, but the new type. Where did it go? Yeah, you should copy this. Okay, a particle moves along a straight line such that its displacement at any time is given as this one. The velocity when acceleration is 0. That means you have to calculate the velocity and then you have to calculate the acceleration, equate it to 0, find out the time and substitute it in the velocity. Very simple, right? So S is equal to t cube minus 6t square plus 3t plus 4. Velocity is equal to dx by dt or ds by dt, which means you should know a simple differentiation, right? So 3t square. If you don't know differentiation integration, let me know. Okay, I can try to help you with some basics. So you have to message me. Or you can go back and study it in the handbook. I have given it in the first chapter, mathematics reference. So I think I made a mistake here. So it will be, since I will keep it here, 2 will come to the front. T, 2 minus 1 will become 1. Here 3 minus 1 becomes 2 and 3 comes to the front. Plus 3 into differentiation of t will become 1. If you are not convinced, this power will come to the front and t power 1 minus 1, it will become 0. Anything to the power 0 is 1. So that means this will become the same. Whenever you see t, you can directly, and differentiation of a constant will become 0. I hope all of you are comfortable with this.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I want acceleration, I have to differentiate this one, which means it will be dv by dt. Okay. I'm going step by step because very often you'll be using these steps. So d squared s by dt, because you are differentiating this one more time. So this calls second differentiation. That means I have to differentiate this. So 3, 2. So it will become 2 minus 12. They said when the acceleration is 0. That means I have to equate it to 0. So this is 6. So that means t will be equal to 2. Then I have to substitute it over here. So velocity is equal to 3t square minus 12t plus 3. So 3, 2 square minus 12 into 2 plus 3. This will become 4 into 3, 12 minus 24 plus 3. This will become minus 12 plus 3, it will become minus 9. So that will be the velocity. So minus 9, so that will be your answer. So what this means is instead of moving forward, it is moving backward. That's the meaning of minus. So this is completely mathematics. If you are not aware of differentiation integration, don't worry about it, okay? 10th standard, I think the 1 or 2 10th standard students were there. If you are not studied differentiation integration, don't worry about it, okay? 11th standard students, I am sure you are comfortable with integration differentiation. I mean 11th completed students. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. As I told you, very often they will ask you some graphical questions. So only if you know the logic, you can do it. So you have something called graphical questions, you have something called numerical questions, you have something called algebraic questions, right, without any numbers. Talked about it. You have some direct theory questions, right, or some concept questions. So there are so many different varieties you should be aware of. The displacement time graph of a moving particle is shown below. So that means the dv by dx by dt, right? dx by dt is what is your velocity. So that means slope of the graph. That means at every point, if I want to find the velocity, I have to find the display slope. So that means if I draw a tangential line, you see this is increasing. This is flat. Flat means slope is 0. Here the velocity is decreasing, which means slope is decreasing, which means it is negative slope. Here it is again increasing, so the slope is increasing. Anybody not following mathematics, pure mathematics? Increasing slope, 0 slope, decreasing slope, increasing slope. Okay, so that means instantaneous velocity of the particle is negative at the point. Which one is the answer? Anybody? Where is the slope negative? And nobody is answering.
E.
Option D. Yeah. Option D, but the point here is E. In your mathematics,
the
remember.
point E.
Yeah. So in your mathematics, always remember this is called increasing
Can you
slope,
hear me?
right? That means it is
So can you hear me?
positive.
D. Option D. Yeah.
Yeah. This is slope is equal to 0. This is slope is negative. Okay, we should not have any doubts here. That means when it is coming down, it is negative slope. Negative slope means negative velocity. That means E is the correct answer. Any doubts? Pure mathematics, right? So as you study your maths, I'm sure it will become easier. This is algebraic problem, right? Without any numbers. So maybe we can try this so that you will get some confidence. A car accelerates from rest. That means u is equal to 0 at a constant rate alpha for some time, after which it decelerates. For some time, after which it decelerates. So that means initial velocity is 0 and then it is going to certain speed, which after certain time, and then it decelerates at a constant rate beta. So this is alpha acceleration, this is beta deceleration, comes to rest. So this is u is equal to 0. I'm talking about velocity graph here, time graph. If the total time elapsed is t, that means 0 to t. I don't know this time. Then the maximum velocity acquired by the car. So that means this is the maximum velocity, v max. So they are asking you to find the maximum velocity v max. So that means here I can say that acceleration is equal to v2 minus v1 divided by t2 minus t1. v2 is v max minus, this is your initial velocity 0, divided by, they are not given this, so I'm just taking it as t1. Okay, if that is confusing, you can take it as t2 also. It doesn't matter because it might be confusing with the formula. So yeah, I can take this as t2 so that you don't get confused. So that means it will be t2 minus 0. So that means alpha is equal to v max divided by t2. Similarly, beta is equal to same formula, v2 minus v1 divided by t2 minus t1. But now this is the final velocity. This is the initial velocity. So that means it will be 0 minus the constant rate beta. So beta 0 and then v max. Because final velocity is 0, initial velocity is v max. Divided by time taken. Here this is the final velocity, this is final time, and this is your initial time instant. Means it will be t minus t2. So minus v max divided by t minus t2. So look at the answers. I have only in T and alpha and beta. So that means I have to get rid of the T2 because T2 is something which I introduced. They did not give you. I introduced T2 to start the problem. So that means use your mathematics. So eliminate T2. So bring the T2 here, alpha here. Then I can replace T2. So that means T2 is equal to V max by alpha. Anybody not following that? If you want, I can show one more step. So T2 comes over here, alpha comes to the bottom. So V max divided by alpha. So that means beta, they said it is a deceleration in the value of beta. I think you can ignore this minus, but okay, we'll keep it and see what we get. Since it is deceleration, you are getting a minus, but in the question they said deceleration of a value of beta. Okay, so I will show you what will happen if I keep the minus, and then we'll try this. This is T minus V max divided by alpha. Let's all simplify this and find out V max. That will give you the answer. So that means V max is what I want. So bring it on this side. Multiply with this V max divided by alpha minus V max but as I said, I am thinking this might be to be written as positive, right? I will show you why it will not work. So I want Vmax, so bring the Vmaxes on this side. So beta T is equal to beta by alpha minus, okay, I can show you one more step so that you don't get confused. So I can take Vmax commonly out. So beta by alpha minus 1. Again, for your benefit, I am just showing so many steps. In reality, probably you can do it very quickly. Right? So don't think it will take so much time. Once you are comfortable, I'm sure you can do this within 1 minute. As you keep on doing it, I'm sure your mathematics speed will increase. So that's your answer, right? So if you see, all these things are simple mathematics. Only this first part is physics. So from here, after this, it's all mathematics. So always remember, only the physics part, you will have some difficulty. Once you get started, you can easily do the mathematics part. This is all just a matter of practice. So alpha, beta into t, let's see what options do you have. Alpha, beta into t divided by alpha plus beta. So here I have beta minus alpha. So as I told you, I think this is the closest answer, right? And the reason is, I have taken this as minus, but since in the question they are given it as deceleration, you can take this as plus. It's like saying, okay, if you are confused with this, I will tell you give you an example. If I say acceleration is 5 meter per second square, it means it goes without saying that it is plus 5. But if I say deceleration is 5 meter per second square, what is the meaning of this? If I say deceleration is 5 meter per second square, it means it
minus
is
5.
minus 5 meter per second square. So that means A should be taken as minus 5. But here, since we are dealing with algebraic letters, beta, maybe they gave this as a positive value. So that means since this has to be a positive value, you can take this as minus can be written as plus, and then this entire thing will become, all these things will become plus, and then this will become beta plus alpha. Okay. Everyone following that? So that means if you have taken this as plus, all these minuses will become plus. Again, if it was a numerical problem, you will not get this issue. But since it is a algebraic problem, they have done something like that here. If you are not convinced with that, I can say generally in our mathematics, profit, we will take it as positive. Losses, we will take it as negative. But when I say loss of, say, 5 rupees, I don't put minus 5. I simply say losses 5 rupees. So that means, depending upon the situation, sometimes, you should know how to use this, make use of this. Okay, anyhow, this is the closest answer, or anybody were able to solve this? Vedant, were you able to solve it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Did you follow this method or some other method?
Sir, instead of this method, I used alpha is equal to V by T1 and beta is equal to V by T2. So T1 is equal to V by alpha and T2 is equal to V by beta. So total time T1 plus T2. So T total is equal to V by alpha plus V by beta. So it becomes V into alpha plus beta by alpha beta. So finally, I got V is equal to alpha beta into T divided by alpha plus beta.
Okay, very good. So what you are saying is you took this part as T1 and this part as T2. And
Yes, sir.
then finally you took it as T1 plus T2 is equal to
Yeah,
T.
total time, sir.
And then
Yes,
you
sir.
found T1 and T2.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So if you are getting the answer, then it's fine. But with
Yeah.
T1 and acceleration, I think it might be V by T1. Okay, yeah, you must have got, okay, you should have written in terms of T1, T2. Okay, should have got the same answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is slightly different method. But always remember, making a drawing is important, okay? As you go into complicated problems, you will need some simple drawings. Without drawings, you cannot do problems. So get into the habit of making simple drawings. Okay, so We can do 2 or 3 problems more. Okay. Generally, we have up to 9:15. I'm not sure what is your energy level. Okay. Are you folks okay?
Sir, how
If I
to
continue.
solve?
How to
Yes,
solve?
sir. Sir, how to solve the 20th problem, sir?
20. Okay. This one.
Yes, sir. 20th. Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe we can answer the doubts now. The last half an hour or last 10 minutes, we can use it for doubt problems. To confuse you, instead of acceleration A, they are given F. Okay. And then F is a function of time. If it is a function of time, what does that mean? Acceleration changes with respect to time. So is it a constant or changing? Acceleration is changing. Do you agree? Hello, Vedant.
Sir, I didn't understand this problem, sir.
That's okay, sir. I'm not talking about this problem. I'm just asking you, if acceleration is changing with respect to time, can you use equations of motion or not?
Sir, if acceleration is constant, we can use. If acceleration is not constant, we cannot use the equation, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, I hope all of you understood that. Okay, so keep it in mind. Okay, if you don't know that, write it in paper and stick it in your room. Okay, so very often you're going to get into this situation. You may find it funny when I say, okay, stick it in your room, but the more concepts, you write it in post-it notes or something, and you keep on sticking it. Eventually, after 1 year, you will have some thousands of concepts in your room, and you can be, studying it then and there. Okay, so it's a good habit. If you want, you can try it. It will be, it will help you a lot. The time interval between t is equal to 0 and the instant when f is equal to 0, the particle's velocity is Vx. So acceleration is equal to f naught 1 minus t by t. That is your acceleration. Okay. Instead of f, I'm going to use a because I'm comfortable with the a. The time interval on the instant when f is equal to 0. So if I equate this to 0, then this is a constant. So it goes on the other side, it will become 0. So 1 minus t by t is equal to 0. So that means t will be equal to capital T, because capital T, they said it is a constant. So now coming back to this, I am supposed to find the velocity, right? So that means after a time of t. So that means from time t is equal to 0 to time t is equal to capital T, the velocity, the acceleration is changing. So very important type. I hope all of you are listening carefully. Okay. So acceleration is changing and velocity is what is asked. So they are asking you to find the velocity at this point. That's all. So a simple method I would say is A is a function of time. Okay, so that means it's given something like this. Acceleration is nothing but dv by dt. Just now I was telling you ds by dt, dv by dt. I want velocity in terms of time. So that means bring the dt on this side. Again, people who have studied integral calculus should be easy. If you are not studied, don't worry about it. Okay, as you study that in your maths, it will become easy. So if I integrate this, I will get V. F naught is a constant, but I can write it like this. So I am going to integrate it from, initially the velocity is 0. So that means U is equal to 0. So that means velocity here initially it is 0, and then I have to integrate up to the final velocity V. And here it is, initial time is t is equal to 0, and final time is t is equal to capital T. So if I do that, I will get it in terms of t, time. And then I can simply substitute the capital T over here. So that means if I integrate integral of dv will become v, and apply the limits, v is equal to 0, v velocity v is equal to, you can keep it as v itself. So that means whenever it is a changing quantity, you can keep it like that. F naught is a constant, integral of 1 minus t divided by capital T dot dt. If I integrate this with respect to time, integral of dt will be t. Integral of t will be t squared by 2. So if you don't know the basics in integration and differentiation, go to the handbook. Okay. So I given a lot of useful information about, even if if you have studied this in your mathematics, you can still, go through this basics. Okay. So the very first chapter is all about mathematics basics required for your physics problem solving. So this is introduction to integration. And this is a formula which you are using right now. This is introduction to differentiation, right? So go through this. And if you know this basics, it will make more sense. Always remember, slope means differentiation. Area means integration. Okay. So you are applying the limits from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to capital T. This will become v minus 0. Applying the limits. Applying the limits, this will become t minus t squared by 2t. Minus, if I apply the lower limits, it will become 0. But for your benefit, I can show one more step. You can skip some of these steps, okay? But for your benefit, I am showing all the steps. T and t will cancel, so I'll get t minus t by 2. So v is equal to f naught t by 2. F naught t by 2 is my answer. Everyone okay with that? Definitely not an easy one, right? So mathematics is also slightly, if you are new to integration, this might be confusing. But Vedant, are you okay with the integration part?
Yes, sir.
So where do you have difficulty? Are you okay with this starting point? I'm sure many of you will have some difficulty with this part, the red part.
There is no difficulty, sir. It is easy only, sir. The integration.
Okay. Did you understand all the steps?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what about others?
So the only thing is I have to practice it daily, sir, the integration and differentiation. So only it would be easier for me, sir.
Yeah, practice physics problems and of course your mathematics problems also. But then you said you are preparing for Neet, right?
Yes, sir.
Then yeah. So whatever mathematics you are doing in your school exams, that is sufficient. So you don't have to do separately for JEE. But these are all some, in physics, we'll be using only some simple integrations, not very complicated. So if you understand the concepts, it is good. So this concept is very important. Acceleration is dv by dt. So bring the dt on this side, and then you are integrating to find the velocity in terms of t. I'm repeating, your acceleration is given, but acceleration is dv by dt. So when you bring the dt on this side, you can integrate it to find velocity in terms of t. That's what we found, velocity in terms of t. That means as t changes, as time changes, you can find, so this is the actual formula. So as time changes, you can calculate the velocity. Because, why are we struggling so much? Because you cannot use the three equations of motion. So make a note properly. When acceleration is not constant, v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as, right? And then you must have studied one more formula, which is v average is equal to u plus v by 2. So all these things cannot be used. Because as the letter suggests, only when you have a constant value, you can substitute a constant value for a. If the a is constantly changing, then I cannot substitute the value over here. So very important concept. Okay, only if you take down this concept, you will understand why we are doing this integration. So whenever they give you acceleration as a function of time, you should use this method. Okay, I think it's already time. So your homework is try the remaining problems. Okay, I might be skipping some of the problems. So generally I take 2 classes for one topic, right, for one chapter. So my expectation is around 20 problems in one day. So maybe 25. If you are fast, we can go a little bit more, and then we can do another 25 in the next class. So for every chapter we will be taking 2 classes. Okay, so it's your duty to work it out, come back and bring the doubts. Some of them I understand that it might be difficult. Okay, so if you are not able to solve it, not a problem. Nobody is going to penalize you, but it is your duty to try it and then come back and clarify your doubts. Okay, thank you all. Any doubts?
Guru, can you send this paper in the WhatsApp group?
You mean this PDF?
Yeah.
It's already, as a standard, it is already kept there, sir.
Oh, it's there, huh? Okay. No problem.
Everything, we are following only this, it's all, all these things are there.
Yeah, they can go into your blog and find out.
Yeah, so 14 chapters for 11th and 14 chapters for 12th.
Yeah.
Even if they are, working on the 12th chapters, as they complete some 12 chapters, they can go here and work it out, even though we are doing this one.
So students, we are going a little slow. I mean, intentionally we are going slow. I mean, Guru or all teachers will go slow for simple reason. The concept have to be very clear.
Yeah.
That is the reason I requested all the teachers to go slow in the beginning, and then later on we can go a little faster.
Yeah.
So some of you may feel that it is slow, but this is the reason. Intentionally we are trying to do that.
Yeah. But if you are doing more problems, you can always send me some doubts in your WhatsApp also. I'll be happy to help you in WhatsApp. I can clarify your doubts. Okay, so it's up to you. You should make use of the teachers' resources properly.
Thank you.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yes, Vedant.
Sir, for solving another 25 problems, what are the things I want to study from the book, sir? The kinematics chapter.
Okay, good question. So you see, this is motion under gravity, so I think it's all basics only.
Yes, sir.
We will get a lot of questions based on motion under gravity, and this is relative velocity, and this is we already discussed these things a little bit. So you can go to this chapter over here. You can skip this units and measurements. You are supposed to be going to the yeah. So this chapter. So you should be studying all this chapter thoroughly. Motion in one dimension.
Oh,
Okay.
from the e-book.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now I have made it as a PDF downloadable also. You can download it and study it. No issues at all.
Sir, I have made a spiral binding of it, sir, already.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
That is very good. You know,
Very
it
good,
shows
Vedant. Very good.
because every time you cannot do PDF.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I would recommend others to do the same thing. You know, they go to the Xerox shop. You know, I think it's like 164 pages only. So if you spend some 200 rupees or something, you can do a spiral bind. So study this entire chapter and then try the
This
problem.
book is available, Guru. It's available with you for a cost, isn't it?
I used to do that, but now what I had thought is I have put it as a PDF
Okay,
only.
okay, okay. So then,
So
children, you go through their PDF, and either you can read from the PDF or you can take a printout and then keep it as a book. Like that also
yeah,
is right. Whichever is
so,
convenient to you, you can do that.
yeah. So they can print out the entire book and keep it as a spiral bond, so that they can refer then and there. Definitely, it will be useful, right? So it is up to you to find it out and see how useful it is.
Okay, thank you, Guru.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.